nothing, none of the importance of all the other matches combined live can like even touch what the Bloodline and them are doing. So
Well, we're
hopefully,
live now,
hopefully,
by the way.
hopefully the best. Okay. Hi everybody. But yeah, hopefully the rest of Mania can they can like stand on their own 2 feet. Like
How
hopefully
many
it's not
years?
like huh?
How many years has it been since the Bloodline started?
Well, the end of 2012. Oh, the Bloodline itself,
Yeah,
twenty-twenty-one probably.
well, I mean, I'm starting to, I'm thinking like, since it basically didn't it just start after Roman beat the Fiend for the title?
I
Wasn't
would
that
say it was
basically
probably
kind of the beginning?
the yeah, yeah, because I mean it slowly transitioned into because the Usos didn't want anything to do with it, and then Jimmy did, but Jay didn't, and then they did the whole Jimmy versus Jay, um, which led to Jay versus Roman in Hell in a Cell,
Yeah.
and Roman slaughtered. And you that's when you picked Jay to beat him.
Yeah,
Um,
that was two pay-per-views in a row. I wanted a surprise. I wanted that, but Jay
because
has.
that was early part of 2021 because all through 2021,
No crowds.
um,
There was
you
still no
built it
crowd.
up
That was in the Thunderdome.
right, yeah. And it wasn't until 2022 when Sammy got involved, and that was almost a whole year. And then 2023 at the Rumble is when Sammy turned.
And I mean,
Man, uh,
it's like everybody was starting to chat about the Bloodline just ending. It's like, okay, well, they're getting long in the tooth. We thought so too. And then all of a sudden, you got, I mean, they stuck together. Jay left, which was great. Like, Jay has just cemented himself as a, top level wrestler,
main
which is
event
great.
too. So
Well, he calls himself the main event.
yeah.
But I like
Yeet.
Jay. I always like Jay. Wasn't there a problem with that with Yeet? But
Just for a
it
little
looks like
bit,
it's
but
back.
then
Yeah, it looks.
it didn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
it didn't even last a week.
yeah.
It was probably like
This just
six
goes to
days.
show.
That there was some other guy in some other independent wrestling that was his trademark, and like he had it for years. He had merchandise and stuff like that. But somebody must have slipped him some money because
Yeah,
the next week Jay had his shirt back on.
he's back to Yeet.
Yeah,
Well, I think it's impressive, man. I think it's impressive that the Bloodline. I mean, WrestleMania, last year's WrestleMania, what 39
yeah.
was that main event. Um, so Cody and Ramen delivered, and definitely surprised because Ramen obviously retained. I thought that was great because everybody was just expecting Cody to win, including me. Love that how they changed that. The Rock coming back now. Oh well, let's stay at WrestleMania 39. The tag team match with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I thought that was fantastic. That was like one of the best matches I've seen in a long, 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 long time. And then, Bloodline is like, it's kind of teetering, whatever, but they kept it. Is there going to be are they just all going to leave? Is it going to break up? And then you get The Rock shows up and ends up joining the Bloodline, which probably wasn't part of the plan to begin with. but it just, I mean, Bloodline just won't go down. And I texted you, after Rob joined, I said, you know what, this Bloodline is now for sure going to be cemented up there with the likes of Degeneration X and what other factions were even that
Uh,
popular. Um, well, was it, okay? So
well,
that's a good question.
for WWE or like total.
Well, okay. I'm thinking just WWE, but you're right. Like, I don't know. NWO was probably the best, but Nation of Domination. Um,
Mhm. Um,
there's not a lot that I can think about it. Well,
Under,
I mean, Kane,
Undertaker and
the
the
Ministry.
Ministry.
Yeah, that was, yeah,
Well,
the Brood. The Brood is not up there, but the Brood was cool.
Brood was cool.
Uh,
Nation of
yeah,
Domination.
man.
I mean, I love that. Like that's
Yeah.
still one of my favorite theme songs.
We
It's
are the
Nation of
nation,
Domination.
nation
Domination.
of domination.
There's a lot of people in that too. Like a lot of people that might not remember, but because I was just watching, I was just watching something, and um, they're, they're showing the highlight or whatever, and then it showed Ahmed Johnson. I was like, oh man, I told you, I did not remember he was in Nation
He was.
Domination. And I
Yeah.
should have assumed because he was
D'Lo
black.
Brown.
Um,
I mean, that's really what it was.
well, exactly. Except for when Owen Hart was in the Nation Domination. You're the first white guy.
Yeah. Leave it to Owen Hart. He would do something like that. Well,
Oh,
when The
he's
Rock was there,
Canadian.
obviously.
He's Canadian black.
Okay. But I mean, would you agree that, by this point, it feels like
Oh yeah, for sure.
the bloodline is here to stay? And even if they break up, they've kind of cemented themselves as
Yeah,
and ramen. I mean, dude, what, like, from when we started watching it together,
yeah.
which is what, early 2020.
WrestleMania 2020.
Yeah. Our first WrestleMania was fucking COVID WrestleMania. That's like the
Mania,
strangest time, and now, like,
Mania,
hindsight is gonna be the most unique time in wrestling. Which is really cool, man. Um,
no, Mania 36.
what do you think? What do you think of Rock now as the heel?
Um, I thought the promo he had last night was his best promo that he's had. Just
Walking
for the
clown
fact that
emoji.
he kind of toned it down a little bit. Like he was going he was going too much attitude era rock, but like he was like attitude era rock, but like even more
Well, he had
into
to
it because
adjust,
like
man. He's been
yeah, well
off of that
yeah, but like
spotlight.
well no, I'm just going on like this like you know doing the whole uh crackheads and cokeheads and like yeah like all right
Smack
bro
your
like
herpy lip.
ease off like ease off a little bit. You don't have to go that aggressive. I get it. Like even though because like I mean that it got reactions. I mean my mom is completely flipped on him. Um, completely she can't stand him anymore. Um, but
Awesome.
like it's coming into I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how he does in the ring. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna be fine. We'll see where the next the next step in his run is going to be. That's going to be a monumental step, I think. Um, they did good with them. It's just, I don't know. It's unfortunate. Like he has to have, like he has to be, no matter what, he had to be in Mania, and he did it. Like they still got what he still got what he wanted. Was the main event at WrestleMania. It's just in a different way. So it's like they did a good job of making everybody happy, fans, talent. Um,
I like the idea of telling a story through like WrestleMania night to Wrestle night 1 to WrestleMania night 2. You
right.
know, that's pretty cool. It's like, okay, so if we do this on WrestleMania night 1, then this happens for the main event night 2. I like that.
Exactly, and it keeps that night too. Um, you don't know what's gonna happen because
Yeah.
you still got night one. Like, are they
It's
gonna beat
great, man.
them, or are they gonna lose? And then it's gonna be whatever the bloodline rules, you know. And I don't know. I kind of hope it's like I don't know what I want. That's the thing, because we all want Cody to win, but then it's a matter of like how do we want him to win? Do we want him to win clean, and it's just him and Roman? Of course, like that's what we all need, and I think that's the way that Roman loses is with no help from anybody.
I think
we've been hungry for him having a match where nobody gets involved. And I think this is a way for possibly The Rock to make that happen, where he stops someone from getting involved by not by them. I don't want them anywhere near the ring. That's the thing. Like have it be like they're like at the top of the ramp or something, and then like Solo starts to come down, but then The Rock like holds him, holds his hand and like on his chest and holds him back, and nobody goes down there, and it's just coming. And Cody and Roman, and Cody wins, and then
well,
Roman's
I
just
call
pissed.
I call the sorry, go ahead.
No, I was done.
I call the Rock. Well, I call the three-way between
You did.
them at WrestleMania. But I'm still calling that the Rock is going to actually interfere and help Cody win. Now that might be as a heel, just how you said, and it could be as he could like the Rock could be taking over the Bloodline, or the Rock could just smack all the Bloodline out of the way. The Rock could keep them out of the way, either as they're following him, or he could just fight them and not allow him to go that way, if that makes sense. Uh, but I think what you said is probably what's going to happen, which is going to be fun. I think they're going to win night 1. I think the Bloodline or Ramen and Rock are going to win night 1. And so that's what's gonna happen night 2. But it's just so exciting, man. I love it. I am excited for WrestleMania. You have no fucking idea. I think it's that they've built it up great. I love The Rock in there. Even though like it just looks like he's getting his legs under him, and
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
he hasn't done that in a while, and he's just been
Right.
a good guy the whole time. So
He,
I think
he
he's gonna
still
betray
is
Ramen.
like he still is outside of like outside of being on WWE TV.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I mean, he has his moments where he's doing these social media shit, where he's posting
I've seen
videos.
those, and I don't want
Yeah.
to watch him because he rambles, man. Like The
Oh
Rock
yeah. No,
is,
I didn't see any of them either.
he
Um,
takes his time with those, and I'm like, bro, that's 20
but
minutes.
he's doing these, and at the same time he's doing Dwayne Johnson shit,
Yeah,
and
Well, yeah, I mean,
he's,
we're in
he's
that
getting
era
heavy.
now, you know. That kayfabe is
And
so completely dead that anyone who
that's
does it is just brilliant. I feel like they're
and
just a next level.
so I what I'm hoping is that this triggers other people into getting that mindset of, hey, I could be this role model, this person that children look up to, or women look up to, men look up to, whatever look up to, as a good person. But at the same time, I don't have to be good on. I don't have to like be a face all the time. I can be a hero too and
Yeah.
still succeed. And when the Rock's doing that, like that's huge. Like a lot of people couldn't do that, but if you can, I mean, then you're getting the best of so many different angles. And I'm hoping
Absolutely.
that
And
it's a certain someone that's seeing this and can make some changes, uh, further their career stuff. So
um okay. I was
I'm
gonna say,
talking about Bianca. I'm talking about Bianca Belair.
oh,
Um,
okay. Okay, well, maybe
because
we can
well,
talk
no,
about her separately.
it's not really a segment right now. I'm just saying that she had a small little minute section on SmackDown where she was very she was kind of going back to her ways of her early NXT days when she was a heel. She was very heelish. Her words are very heelish. Her look, her body motion, and everything. So I'm hoping that she can do that, but she needs to, and at the same time, be that role model and be that person that can, you know, she's a spokeswoman for the WWE, and she could still do all this while being a heel at the same time
Yeah.
on TV. So, but
I support it.
yeah. Anyways, back to the bloodline. Bloodline ain't going nowhere for a long time. So,
Well, do you think
uh,
so now so
I,
I mean we're just speculating at this point, but
right.
the bloodline is, if The Rock does what you said he's gonna do at WrestleMania, then you're gonna have Ramen he's gonna basically be turning into a face.
Um, I I don't know because if he's preventing anybody from helping Roman, I think that brings Rock closer to becoming face again than Roman would. Because Roman as a face, no, you don't want that because you already got Cody Rollins as top faces in the company. Reigns as a face would be too much, I think.
I think
I
that
think
they'll
if
probably
you
take him off, like this off screen for a little while, give him a little break, and then bring him back. Like he'll interfere, and I mean, cause I don't know how long Rock. It's like every time you look at the Rock, you assume he's not going to be there long. So whatever needs to be finished is going to get finished sooner than later. So there's probably going to be Ramen versus the Rock for the head of the table, which is what
well,
was going to
that's
happen,
right.
what was going to be in the beginning, but then you just have Cody and yeah. I've always felt like the Rock coming back was not for Ramen. It was for Cody, really, to put Cody over. That's what it felt like. So, but Ramen too. I mean, Ramen has put himself over so much that now he's just cementing. Like we're just cementing. We're just adding extra layers to make sure it never goes away. Really, and The Rock and Ramen are gonna go at it for sure for the head of the table, and it's gonna get interesting. That's also gonna be fun. It's still gonna be Bloodline. They're still gonna extend it. and it's just not only is it going to cement the bloodline, it's going to cement Ramen and the bloodline. I mean, The Rock's The Rock. I mean, even though he's a heel, the crowd still chants Rocky. You know, they can't help it. They chant Rocky sucks, and then he says something funny, and they just fucking pop and chant Rocky, and it's like this is tremendous. This is like you have transcended the level of heel and face, and you're just both, and people are just having a good
Exactly.
time.
Which
It's
makes it that
tremendous.
much, which makes it that much easier to,
Oh yeah,
flip whichever. So
he's
much
gonna flip
easier
the
than
whole bloodline into.
rather than having Roman flip to being a face, which they tried that for 6, 7 years.
Well,
And
yeah, but
it
now
did not.
he would have been a heel, like he's over. Like I strongly believe that they're gonna uh, get behind Ramen if he turned face. I strongly believe
Uh,
people will. Yeah,
I don't know.
you don't think so?
I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
It's
Tough
hard to
one.
see him as a face, yeah, but you know, it's tough
Just
going
'cause
against The Rock though, just because of that dualism that Rock has. I mean, it's both heel and face. So what are you gonna
right.
be? You know?
Well, that's why it's like the the value of how personal it is or will be. That's where it's like it doesn't matter if you're heel or face. Like it's just fucking. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know. Like I would like to see new members come in. Not a lot, obviously, but have it be two different. It's all one bloodline, but you got two halves. You got one, or you got like two sides. You got this side, which is led by Roman, and he's got two guys with him, and then you got The Rock, and then he's got two or three guys, whatever. And like that could be a War Games. That could be a future War Games, which is Team Roman versus Team Rock or whatever, like however they do it. Um, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. They got Tamatanga, who's signed with WWE now. Um, he could possibly show up at Mania. I don't know, but he's a part of the he's he's like an honorary in the bloodline person because he's Haku's son, and they all
Hmm.
consider Haku and his family in the bloodline. Um, but he's in WWE. We don't, but there's no plan for him. They don't know like he could be just being himself and like going to NXT, or is he gonna go straight up into the blood and get into the bloodline kind of things? And then there's a few other members of the bloodline that are good possibilities of joining WWE at some point in the future. Um, and it's like you have to consider, are they going to be coming over and are they going to be in the bloodline? Like that's how long that's how just like we talked about like how long the longevity of this bloodline could end up being. I mean, it could be going on forever now. I mean, it's kind of like Reigns, Rollins, and Ambrose in the Shield. They still reference the Shield when they talk about Rollins and Reigns, like when they're in like the same
Yeah, I think
picture.
Shield would be another faction
Oh,
in that. Yeah, that I would.
yeah, yeah. And even I mean, they were together almost 4 years probably. And they had a huge impact. The Wyatt family. But like,
I don't know if the Wyatt
they
family's there.
still. I mean, that doesn't help that 2/3 of them passed. But, that's just that.
um,
But
not to laugh at the passing.
they're still reference. They still reference them as they still reference the Shield. Whereas like, I mean, now like 5 years from now, when Solo's still in the company, he's doing his thing. He's gonna be. I mean, even if he's not in the like, even if there isn't a bloodline story or whatever, they'll still mention the bloodline. Same thing with the Usos, Rollin. Like, it's just the bloodline is not going to go away. So the bloodline will not flatline.
Nice. Well, nice to put a button on that. I like that.
But no,
The bloodline will not flatline.
yeah, it's crazy. Like I was just looking at Reigns' title defenses from 2020, which is when he won it in August, till the last one was, well, at least on this article, was when he beat LA Knight at Crown Jewel in November 2023, that was his last defense of that year. And he's defended it once since then. So that's 30, 30, 30 title defenses.
Well, it's perfect.
3 years. I mean, like it's like here. So he beat the Fiend in August.
Ugh.
He beat he beat the Fiend and Braun Strowman. And then Jay Uso was a month at like less than a month after that, and then it was Jey Uso again in the Hell in a Cell. I quit match.
I can see
But you
Jey
go down this.
Uso taking over the bloodline.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, because I think he's better than Jimmy. I think in a
Well,
lot of different ways.
yeah, I mean, I
Jimmy,
wouldn't say necessarily better. He's just more popular. But I mean, that's just like there's a whole storyline there, because Jimmy's turning into kind of like not like in a sense, as far as the story goes, into a lesser brother. Like he achieved less comparatively. So that the bad blood between the brothers it's here to stay, and eventually they're gonna get together somehow. So
they'll be tag champions again someday.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
I think that sounds right.
well,
I don't think
if we go
Jimmy's
down the
lesser
list,
than Jay. I just he's more popular, but the two are, I mean, very similar as far as how they wrestle, what
well,
they do. Do you know what I
I
mean?
think like the biggest thing really is Jimmy just hasn't
I don't know. Over.
he hasn't done anything. Like he hasn't had like any feuds or matches on his own.
Yeah.
Like whenever we see him, he's just with the bloodline. I mean, he doesn't have a match really. Whereas you see Jay, he's having feuds, he's having matches. Jimmy's not having it on SmackDown. He doesn't need to,
Yeah.
but that's where
Yeah.
it's like, you know, but I mean, also Jay's on a different level than Jimmy. Like Jimmy's not having that solo run that Jay's having.
He's not having the solo chant either.
Right, right. Well, if I go down this list of Reigns' defenses, you got Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, Owens, Daniel Bryan, Daniel Bryan and Edge, Daniel Bryan, wow, Cesaro, Mysterio, Edge, Cena, Lesnar, Big E, Sami Zayn, Goldberg, Lesnar, Riddle, Lesnar, McIntyre, Logan Paul, Owens, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, LA Knight. There's a lot. And then LA Knight, AJ Styles, Randy Orton. A lot of repeated names, but those are long and the long term booking with a lot of them. And like those are some
Yeah.
top notch names considering um but like Owens 3 times in a row, um over a span of a month and a half. Daniel Bryan from February to May. Like that's crazy. I didn't think that storyline was that long, but it was.
It seemed very short. You're right.
Yeah, like I don't remember. Like I remember him and Edge, but I don't really remember before or after that. That's but anyway. Um, yeah, Reigns is just a total. And come to think, I wrote him a letter, and he just changed right before my
Yeah.
eyes.
Well, you're an intimidating character, bro. He looked up. He's like,
Especially
"Oh
when
shit."
the fuck this guy's writing me a love letter. Man, I gotta
Yeah.
change.
You
I
just got
gotta
a love
change real
letter
quick.
for a 7 foot tall man. Let me tell you, I'm about to start a new bloodline, bro.
I better get my shit
Yeah.
straight.
And meanwhile, I'm like, here's like a 6 foot tall dude writing to Baron Corbin, and he went and got a bike with a smoke machine.
Yeah, man. The, the second time when he did it again, it bothered me. I was like, I don't
Did you
want
see
that.
it?
He said, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I saw it after you mentioned it, but then both of the was it before they? Oh yeah, it was the night that they became tag champions, and they both came out on bikes. Him and Braun Breaker both came out on bikes, and again he had a freaking smoke machine on the side of his bike.
Now you noticed it. You saw it.
It just looks stupid.
There you go. You saw it. Thank you. Like that's I was bitching about that. I was like, no, 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 no. Ah, fuck.
But hey, he became champion, so no, that's better. That's better than what he was doing.
Well, he
Uh,
became champion, and then the Braun Breaker left.
yeah, but they're still champion. They still have to lose the titles. I was really, and then I was kind of hoping they would like lose, or like he would leave, and then Corbin would have like uh, forfeit the titles. And I was kind of hoping when Braun Breaker came out the other night, there's tons of smoke behind him. I was like, man, this would be a perfect scene. And you have Baron Corbin come out and attack him from behind. I always have, I always have faith in Corbin though. He's one of the most consistent guys in the business.
I mean,
But
he's got the look. He could do something. He can talk. It's not like it's all
yeah,
just.
he's been having fun in NXT, which is a really that's a big difference for, for someone to start having fun, and then you like they start to open up a little bit more in their character or whatever. And him and Braun, it ended up becoming pretty entertaining. Um, which actually made me like Braun Breaker a little bit more.
Hmm.
I still, but then they had him have like a trial match on Raw, and then debut on SmackDown, and they're just these stupid 5 second squashes. And I'm just like, this fucking guy Goldberg, man, just making him look like Goldberg. It's just like, but the thing is that WWE, we're off the bloodline already, but WWE has lost. They still do not know how to use jobbers right. Their jobbers are still freaking young talent that they're supposed to be pushing up. Like, and they've invested time into them, and now they're just throwing them out there to be freaking jobbers. Like they shave off their facial hair to make them look different. Maybe you don't recognize them, but they don't change their name. So like Zion Quinn, Dante Chen, um, this other guy, I can't think of his name now. He's on NXT. And he's doing pretty good on Level Up. He doesn't get much time on regular NXT, but they put him in that tag match against AOP, and they were like, I thought it was local talent, but no, it's just NXT guys that they have like wrestling on main event and NXT Level Up and stuff like that. And they just throw them on the shows and they just get squashed. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine, but I don't want to be seeing people that I've seen them, on NXT for the last 3 years and just getting squashed. Like I'd rather see people I've never seen before get squashed. But whatever. Anyway, um,
Well, that's it for this segment.
yeah,
we're
there
gonna
we
we're
go.
gonna be talking. Yep. Well, yeah, just to conclude here, you said, Bloodline is not gonna flatline, and I think that's the best way to end this. Very excited. Very excited for WrestleMania. It sounds like you're super excited for WrestleMania too, especially this
I,
the.
I don't know. WrestleMania 2 wasn't that good.
Oh man, I have to spell this out for you, sir.
Uh, WrestleMania as well. Yes. I mean, it's WrestleMania. You have to be excited. Like they never fail on getting you excited for it. 2020, 2020 was a little different, but they still did what they were still gonna do for the most part. Um,
2020 arguably had one of the coolest matches ever made in the history of WWE, and that was the
which
Fiend
one?
versus John Cena match.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the most interesting, most unique, most bizarre, most just it is in a category of its own, and I just felt like,
And if and
yeah,
if and if like the pandemic and all that didn't happen, they were still gonna do the match between the two. Would it like would it have been like that, or would it have been completely different? We don't know. We
well,
don't know.
the Fiend was a flash in the pan. It was so exciting, and then he decided to pass away. Oh,
Eh,
if there's
he'll
only
live
if
on,
there's
I'm sure.
well, I see, like, anyway. We'll leave it here. We can talk about everything else later. But hey, thanks for checking us out. We're at the Jobbers. I'm Max Jaw, and this is Mr. Big D. We're back, bitches, and we'll see you in the next clip.
Love you. Bye.